Hello and welcome back to the channel. You've probably seen this bike before. I've done a couple of videos, did a little video on the shock absorbers, and I did a ride out on it, you might have seen, but I thought I'd do another video on the history of it, where I got it and how long I've had it. So it's a 1971 H1A UK spec. I purchased it 10 years ago for £850, which back then was pretty much the going rate. You could pick these up for restoration for about, somewhere in that region, maybe a bit more, 1,000 or 1,200 quid. They're a lot more now for a resto. People are asking sort of 2, 3, even 4 grand for a resto, so it was crazy. But at least the prices were a bit more realistic back then, because there's always a lot to spend on them, as you know, chroming and painting and all that. I mean, the tank was done at Dream Machine. That was I think about 550 quid for the tank and side panels. Chroming, as you know, was expensive. I think it was £250 per pipe, so 750 quid with the chrome just on the pipes. Both the wheel rims are original re-chromed. The usual things that are chromed and zinc plated and painting, and it all adds up. Anyway, the owner of it had left it in his mate's. It was literally in a barn. It was on a farm, so it's a proper barn find. And it had a problem, a running fault. So the owner had took it to his mate, who I actually got it off, because he was a bit more mechanically minded. He thought he'd have a go at trying to sort it out because it wasn't running right, and he'd done all the usual stuff. Points, messed about with the timing and cleaned the carbs, plugs in it, and it still never did run right. Anyway, left it there for 27 years, but sadly in that time the original owner died, so I actually bought it off his widow. Anyway, I got it going enough. When I got it home, I got it running, and it wasn't running right. I did just clean the carbs out, and it had a spark, put a new battery in it and stuff like that, and I did actually get it going enough to just sort of ride it around the block and see if all the gears were there, and then I proceeded to strip it down and restore it. I did tons of work on the engine, as you can imagine, completely stripped. I had the crank redone at Grampian Motors, so that's all good. The barrels were actually mic'd up, as everything was good. Didn't need new pistons. It obviously has had a few rebores in its time, and obviously the last rebore has hardly done any miles, so that was no point in me changing pistons because they were good. I had a hell of a job getting the barrels off. Renowned on these, they get stuck. Probably, I think it's the same sort of problem as the GT750 Suzuki, where the studs go through the barrels and they corrode. The stud corrodes to the barrel. It took me a long time to get them off. I even made a special tool which helped sort of lift the barrel upwards. I can't quite even remember. It was made out of an old spark plug, I remember, but yeah, it threaded. I threaded it into the cylinder head, I think, and then a bolt going through the middle of it, which was pushing on the top of the stud, which helped lift the barrel off. But everything else was pretty good. The crank, obviously the crank, but it was all done. But the clutch and all that, and the gearbox was all good. Yeah, so it's only done sort of 19,000 now. I think it had 18,000. I've probably only done about 1,000 miles on it, but yeah, so that was all worth doing. I made the loom myself, actually, which I will show you. I actually completely made a loom because you can't get you can get looms. There's plenty of looms for the American spec one, the electronic ignition, but obviously being points ignition, it's a different loom. And when I was restoring it, I don't know if things have changed, but I could not get a loom for the points model. So in the end, I just made one from the wiring diagram, complete from scratch. I didn't even use the old loom as a pattern to work it out. I just binned it basically and just made a new one up. I've got some sleeving for the wires to go. I've got all the correct wires. I got them off eBay actually. There was a place that was selling all wires with all the right colours. According to the diagram, did it that way. I know apparently the UK spec doesn't have these, but I brought them not knowing that at the time, and I've left them on because I think they look nice. TT100s front and rear, new ones. They're not cheap now either. They're sort of £100 a piece. I've done the frame. I didn't have powder coated. That's 2-pack paint, which I prefer. I say Dream Machine done the tank, done a nice job of it. I think it's really nice. It was about 550 quid I think at the time, somewhere in that region. Chromed the pipes. That was as I said, I think it was £250 a pipe. So 750 quid just to rechrome the pipes. I had forks rechromed at Philpotts in Luton. The bottoms there rechromed, all these painted. There might be somebody out there spots a fault with it, but the only thing these are pattern shocks, but I am in the process of getting the original one sorted. As you see in one of my other videos, I've took them apart. I'm just going to get the trouble is they want I think it was £80 plus VAT just to rechrome the springs, so I'm now looking for another set of springs. The rims, say original rims rechromed, spoke kit from Z Power. Great bike though. It's I did 30 miles on it only a couple of days ago. Run perfect. Not the most economical bike, they never were, but they're all right if you ride them sensibly. If you thrash them like you probably would have done back in the day, I think you're lucky to get 18 miles to the gallon, so I've been told, but I don't think I've had it as bad as that. I don't really know what it does to the gallon. It doesn't really matter in the amount of times it gets used. I do use it, but it's not like a modern bike or like it would have been used back in the day. It's never quite the same. There you go. Awesome bike. Still very fast, although as I say I haven't been much above 70 mile an hour on it, to be honest. I don't feel safe to go much faster than that on these old bikes. It's 50 years old now. Some people probably do, but I'm quite happy to still stick to the speed limits and that. But, with these old brakes, it's not these days if something pulls out you've got to be able to stop. These were all right back 50 years ago, and they're all right now really, but everything moves so faster these days. Right, so I'll just fire it up, see how she sounds. Good starter. A lot of these two-strokes are never a problem to start it. we go. Let's turn the petrol off. Yeah, so show you around it a bit closer. The stainless steel mudguards, which is a really good thing. In fact, there was a mark there that obviously somebody had come off it over the years, and it had slight scratch marks, but it managed to polish it all out. Took a bit of doing, but there you go. Re-chromed, obviously polished, and these rims, original rims. These sort of bits, little air vents there, re-chromed. Spokes from Z Power. Back rim re-chromed. Indicators from Z Power. As I say, these mudguards are brilliant. Stainless steel. That's one thing Kawasaki did right, that's for sure. Just show you a bit of the loom I made. This is it. All made myself. All these wires, I just got them off eBay, all correct colours. The seat, original base, painted. I think it's only painted. Somebody did that for me actually. Might be powder coated, but either way, it's really good. You see the loom there that I made myself, nice and neat. Yeah. So there you go. That's it. Yeah. There you go. Anyway, that's about it, I think. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.